Assalamu alaikum, 안녕하세요 여러분. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well. So this is the GKS requirement part 2 video. I have already uploaded part 1 of GKS requirements. What is GKS? What are the tracks under GKS you have, and some important things. If you haven't watched that video yet, please go and do watch that video first and come to this video, because this is the part 2 of that video I'll be sharing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what are the documents to submit for the GKS scholarship and some other important things and tips to remember to prepare your documents. I'm Sabrine Fatima. I am currently a 2024 GK scholar. So, studying in South Korea. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe my channel and do press the bell icon. If you like my video, do like and share to your friends. I made video on GK scholarship to help you guys. So without wasting time, let's get started. So yeah, as I have already shared other things. So to apply for the GKS scholarship, these are the things you must remember. What are the documents to submit? Because this is the most required questions, requested video people ask me to do, and most of the people every day you guys text me, you guys ask me how to submit this, what are the things to prepare, what is the errors you did, what so yeah, these are the documents you have to submit to apply for the GK scholarship. You can just get this in GK's guidelines. So the first and foremost thing is application form. Don't worry, from number 1 to number 9 you will get this with your application form. So these are the things you have to fill. It's really easy to fill. I will make a different video on this. So I was thinking about making this video once the application release, because I can make video on 2024, but we don't know what the new changes will be in 2025. So I'll be thinking of making a video after the application release. So please do wait for that. Okay, so here the application form, here you have to just basically fill your detail like your name, your parents name, your university name, your school, everything, your grades, everything, so and so things. And yeah, this is the most two important documents: personal statement and study plan. I've already made a video of this, so I'll be posting that video after this video. So I have made a detailed video on how to write a personal statement and study plan, what are the things to keep in mind, and I have shared my own experiences and tips to write a personal statement and study plan. Okay, so these things. And for this year research proposal, if you're someone who is applying for research papers or research program, you have to apply, you have to submit this. So here it's given for what are the documents and who it is required. So application form, personal statement, study plan is required for all, and for research papers, study plan is not applicable, I mean you don't have to submit. And the research proposal is only for research papers, research persons, it's not applicable for masters and doctors program. And recommendation letter, it used to be two recommendation letter, but from past 2 years it's only one recommendation letter. So you have to get one recommendation letter from one of your professor from your past university, so you can get it. You can also get the like LOR from your work office also, like if you are currently working and you have completed your graduation, or the professor who taught you who is not there, I mean if they got retired, so and so, you can get an LOR from your workplace. You can ask your senior to write a LOR about you. You can just submit that also, just have to submit one LOR. So it is applicable for all. And letter of invitation, it is basically only for research program only, it's not for master or doctor program. What it means, like for research program people, they do contact the professors. So if the professor gave you a letter of invitation to study in a particular university, you can submit that. You have to submit that. It is required for research program only, not for master or document doctoral. And next thing is GK's applicant agreement, is just basically the GK's ask you to check agree, like they tell you your data will be like this. It just basically you have to check the agree, that's simple. And personal medical assessment also you can just do this. Consent to collect your and use your personal information, don't worry, you can just check agree. These are the things you have to do, and it's really simple to do except this personal statement and study plan and LOR, because getting an LOR is the most difficult thing, and writing a perfect personal statement and study plan is also a difficult thing. Other than that, you can just fill these things. And the from here only the difficult part starts. Applicant's parents proof of citizenship. Applicant and parents proof of citizenship and family relationship document. So for applicants proof of citizenship, you can just submit your passport photocopy. If you have, obviously you must have a passport for passport to study and come in South Korea. There are some people who don't have passport yet. I would suggest please go and get a passport as soon as possible. Like for application, you can submit your voter ID also, like your national ID. But once you got selected as a GK scholar, you have to submit your passport. I mean, you must have a passport. So I would suggest please go and get a passport as soon as possible. But for application, you can submit, like apply without that also. This is one more thing, because some people say it's compulsory for you to submit. Yeah, it is good, but actually there are universities you apply, they ask you to submit passport, but you have to just check if you can apply with your national ID. But as per GKS, you can apply with your national ID. If you don't have passport, please go and make a passport. It's really easy to make it. And yeah, of course it depends upon your country, but in India it's really easy to get it, and nowadays you can get it as soon as possible. I got my passport in a week, so you can just get it. And for parents, if your parent have passport, you can just submit your passport photocopy. It can be xerox copy, I mean uncolored copy or colored copy. I would say colored copy is best, but still you can submit the uncolored photocopy, I mean xerox also. And for passport copy, you don't have to do any apostille thing. But if you're submitting voter ID, I mean for India it's voter ID. For other countries, if your country have national ID, you have to submit the photocopy of that. But if you're submitting national ID copy, then you have to do apostille for that. Means like apostille is also for some countries, like some countries, their country don't have apostille thing. Sorry about that, I'm not sure about that. So for that, if your country doesn't have apostille thing, um you just mail the NID or ask your university what to do. I don't have specific information about that. But for India, you have a postal thing. So you just go ask some agents. I know a specific agent. If you want, you can just text me in my Instagram. I can give you the phone number in India. He's a trustable person and I have did it from him. Or you can just go, if you have already know some person, you can just go and do it. I'm not here to promote anyone. So you can just go and send him your documents. Like what are the I will tell you what are the things to apostille. First, these are the things. So you have to get apostille and submit the original apostille. Like there are some documents you have to apostille. I will tell you. First, you have to take a photocopy of that, either colored or xerox copy. You have to send those documents to the agent. You can just send it in PDF version or like in physical copy based on the agent you apply. So he will do the apostille on that. Apostille means a sticker will be applied, like stick in the document and some other seals. So that is apostille. You have to submit that original apostille, because some other people who do this thing is like they don't submit the original, they take the copy for like color photocopy and submit to the GKS NID. No, that is not acceptable. You have to submit the original apostille. Like you don't have to submit the original document, don't do that mistake. You don't have to submit your original document unless you get it again. Like if these are the documents you have to apostille. Like your, if you're submitting your parents national ID, sorry, you have to submit apostille of your parents or your IDs. Second is your degree certificate, then your transcript, your birth certificate, These are the things you have to apostille. So don't submit your original. Of course you can't get it again. Like if you can get your degree certificate again also, you can just submit your original. If you're submitting your original degree, original transcript, you don't have to do apostille. But obviously you can't get another copy of that. Then in that case, just take a photocopy of your original degree, transcript, birth certificate, your parents or your voter ID things. Take a photocopy of that, do the apostille on that, and submit that original apostille, not your original document. Some people do this mistake, because once you submit your original document, you will not get it. Either you pass the application or fail the application, you will not get your documents back. So do remind this, don't submit your original certificates, just submit the original apostille. Okay, so here your applicant, I mean your citizenship proof means passport, or if you don't have passport, you submit your voter ID certificate, I mean the photocopy of style one. And your parents, obviously if you have passport, just submit the passport photocopy, you don't have to do apostille. If not, then submit your parents national IDs photocopy, I mean apostille thing. And for family relation documents, most of the country have this family relationship document, you can just submit, but apostille one. And yeah, in India there are some places where you can't get family relation document, or you, it's really hard to get it. In that case, you just submit your birth certificate, because it's listed in the guidelines. Like if you don't have this family relation document, then you can just submit your birth certificate, because in your birth certificate your parents name, your name, and your birthplace, everything is mentioned. If it's mentioned correctly, and it should be in English or Korean. Like obviously it will be in your mother tongue. If it's fully in your mother tongue, you have to translate that and do apostille on that paper. You can't submit just like that, because eh, for the GKS application, all your document must be either fully in English or in Korean. If it's mixed with your mother tongue with English, it's fine. But if it's not in English or Korean, you have to translate it and do postale, which is a hassle. I can understand, but most of the places they don't have it in English. So you have to go to a translator, a specified, I mean, translator, certified translator. You have to do translation of the documents and submit the apostille of that. And next thing is your bachelor graduation certificate, which is mean degree or diploma certificate, you have to do apostille of that. Then bachelor degree transcript. Some people don't know what is transcript means. Transcript is nothing but um, 6 semester or 5 semester, how many semester you have in your bachelor or master's degree, the whole semester, whole 6 semester, 4 semesters marks will be written in one paper, one sheet, with your everything, your name, your final GPA, CGPA, your percentage, everything is written there. And one more thing, if your transcript doesn't have CGPA on, sorry, GPA on 4 scale, 5 scale, 4.5 scale, means you have to get a conversion from your university. Like let's say if your scale was written in 10 scale, obviously in India most of the university or other countries definitely don't have in 4 scale. If you have, if your university provide on 4 scale, then just submit a postal copy of your transcript. If your university provide your scale in 10 scale or 7 scale, you have to get convert. Some you, there are some options. One, you can go and ask your university to provide some conversion of your marks, not the university conversion, but your marks. Like if you got on 10 scale, if your score is 8 or 9, ask your professor or HOD or some senior people to do a conversion, or you can just do your conversion on your own also. On 4 scale or 5 scale, it should be 4 or 5 scale or 5 4.5 scale, because this is the scale accepted by the GKS, I mean NID. So you can do that, or your ask your professor to do and authenticate it. You can't just submit as it is, you have to get a approval from your university. What I did is, um, you can also submit the Scholaro, which is acceptable by the university GKS. But most of the university, like in India, most of the university don't accept Scholaro report. There are some university do accept, but my university didn't accepted it. So I asked my professor to make a letter to make a conversion. So she did on 4 scale. So out of 4 scale, how much my these things, and I submitted that. Because and you have to get authenticate from your university, like your professor sign and university seal or principal seal, obviously it should be there. So I got it. I also submitted Scholaro, but I had submitted along with that the conversion rate also, because I was applying from 3 years and I failed twice. That's why I realized what are the mistakes I did. So this is one of the mistake I did. I didn't get a conversion properly from university, so I just submitted my Scholaro as it is, and as it's not authenticated it, and my transcript doesn't have a proper explanation of my uh, percentage or marks. That's why I get fail. So don't do this mistake. If your university transcript does have a proper information on 4 scale 5 scale, you can submit. If not, ask your professor to do it. Or if your university is ready to accept the Scholaro report, just get an authenticate of on that. That is really important of that. If you get authentication on Scholaro itself, you don't need to submit any conversion things, because it's already converted on 4 or 5 scale. Just do it. So yeah, this is the important thing you have to do. So along with transcript, you have to submit. I mean, if your scale is not properly on 4 or 5 scale, you have to submit Scholaro report with this. If your Scholaro is not accepting, then submit the conversion certificate from your university. And next thing is master's graduate. This is for the one who is applying for the PhD. If you are applying for PhD or research papers, research program, then you have to submit your master's graduation degree. Same things whatever I said for bachelor. So you have to submit your degree, apostille one, and the transcript. If your transcript doesn't have on 10 scale, 4 scale 5 scale, you have to convert it with Scholaro or ask your professor to do that, and authenticate it and submit it. And this is for the research program. Your doctoral graduation certificate only applicable for postdoctoral research program applicants, not for the one who is applying for the masters or PhD. And doctoral transcript for the research program. And certificate of employment, it is only applicable for the one who is professionally under research program. Like, there are some people who worked, obviously most of the people who work, they do confuse with this and other thing. This is only for the research program. If you have worked as a professor professional under research program, if you have worked in any office or some other things, even if you are professor, you are applying for masters, you should not submit this. If you're applying for the research program, you have to submit this. Okay, this people do get confused with the one here. Okay, I will tell you what where to submit your certificate of employment. Like, obviously we all have some employment experiences, so you have to submit that under 20, not under 40. Do remember that this is only applicable for the research program, not for masters or doctoral program. And proof of overseas Korean documents, it is for the people who is like overseas Korean or the Korean adopted things. So if you are one among them, you have to submit this. Obviously it's optional for others. And proof of Korean citizenship, obviously if you are from this thing, you have to submit that. And proof of Korean War veteran descendant, if you are the Korean War veteran descendant applicant, you have to submit this. And certificate of employment or working experience, this is also applicable for global network program. If you are applying under global network program for masters, it is only for you, not for the others. If you are applying under general quota, RGK's quota or other things quota, you don't have to submit this. Okay, if you are applying for general or RGK's quota, you have to submit your employment cert or work experience certificate under number 20. And do remember these numbers. I mean, you don't have to remember, I mean, don't forget this. You have to submit your application document based on this number. I will tell you at the end of this document thing. So yeah, and number 19 is your score report of valid topic. Obviously from 2024, NID made is like you have to submit your topic or English language proficiency copy. Obviously it's optional, but if you have, you will get some extra points for that. I will tell you this in further video. So yeah, score report for valid topic. If you have topic score, you submit. If you have language IELTS, I mean IELTS, TOEIC, TOEFL, something, you have to submit this. If you have both, submit this. If you have either one, submit this. If you have nothing, it's fine also. Hmm. Next thing is awards and other certificates. Yeah, here is the one you have to submit your certificates you achieved under your undergraduate or masters or some other extracurricular activity programs you did, your online course certificates, your work experience certificate, everything, etc., etc., you submit here. And also if you have did any publications, there are some people who did some publication papers or published books, something, you can submit here. I submitted my work experience, my resume, my other certificates which I earned from my undergraduate and workplace, and some other online courses certificates, and I published two books, so I submitted the abstract of that two books. And if you want, you can just submit. You don't have to submit everything, but if you think it might helpful to be get some points to your application, you can submit that. I wrote two books on my business field during my work time, so I submitted the abstract of that book, two books, and I also submitted my thesis, small papers like just the abstract of that, because I thought it might be helpful for my application, so I did that. It's not compulsory. If you think, you can do that. It will be helpful for your profile. If you don't think, just don't do that. Don't make it heavy. It, you have to pay for your courier service also. And yeah, here it says applicants passport copy, it's optional, but I would say please attach your passport copy, because there are some cases I have heard from previous GK scholars that if you didn't submit your passport copy, the university, if you get selected for the GKS program, then the university might ask you to submit your passport copy, like they might ask you to send it in courier or in PDF version. So I would suggest, if you already have passport, please do submit your passport copy, but you just have to submit it once. If you are submitting here, you don't have to submit the here where I said. Okay, so do remind that. Yeah, as I said about this number things, you have to submit all these document based on this number. So how will you do that? If you read the guidelines, it's mentioned here. Let's say this is the A4 size document. I will make a separate video on that, but I will just tell you in brief. So here at the top here, if you can see my cursor, here you have to write the document name, like let's say up for form now number one application form, you have to write form number 1 or number 1 application form, number 2 personal statement, number 3 study plan. Though it's written here only itself, but still you have to name them. So you have to arrange all your documents based on this number only. So number 1 application form, 2 statements, 3 study plan. If you are submitting the research proposal, 4. If you're not attaching this thing, just remove this application form 4 and submit LOR. And I will tell you how to submit these documents in my next video when the application out. So number 6 letter of invitation, if you are submitting this, just submit this number 4, number 6. If you're not, just remove this. Then number 7, 8, 9, obviously 7, 8, 9, then 10. And 10 you will be having so many documents, like your documents like your passport copy, your parents voter ID, then your birth certificate. Name them like 10, 10 slash or 10.1, 10.2, you can just this, but all those documents are 10 only. You can't say your passport copy number 10, your parents proof of citizenship 11. No, 11 is bachelor's graduation certificate, not this. So you have to name them 10.1, 10.2, or just 10, this like this slash, double slash, like that, but it should be come under 10. And then 11 your graduation certificate, I mean degree, diploma certificate. Then 11 slash or 11.1 is your transcript. Then 12 is master's degree, 12 slash or 12.1 is master's degree transcript, so and so. And then 19th is your topic and IELTS. If you're submitting both, just name it as like 19 topic score, 19 IELTS score. Okay, not the 19 and 20, and the 20 is all your awards and certificates. So let's say you are submitting 10 awards and certificates, so name all those 10 certificates as 20, not the 21. So 20.1, 20.2, like this, or just 2020, and 21 is your application passport copy. So yeah, next is, so these are the documents you have to submit. And next, number of documents, as I have already said this in my part 1 video. For embassy track, you have to submit one set of original document plus 3 set of photocopy. It means like, if you are applying for the embassy track, obviously you are doing apostille document, so you don't have to do 4 set of apostille. You just have to do one set of apostille on all original documents. Original means you don't have to submit any original, just your application form, the documents which I said, everything, and photocopy of those things in 3 sets, like you did your apostille in birth certificate, your transcript, everything, and just have to photocopy of that in 3 sets and submit it in one set. Don't worry, I will tell you how to do this once application out. And the university track applicants, you have to set just one set of original document. You don't have to submit any photocopies, unless your university asks you to submit something extra. Do check your university guidelines, obviously, along with GKS guidelines. Every university release their own guidelines, so check if they are asking any extra. Some university do ask you to submit 2 LORs, some university asks you to submit some extra documents, etc, etc. Just do look for that. And as I said, all the documents must be in English or Korean. So if it's fully in your mother tongue, you have to translate it and do apostille, and it should be apostille confirmed only. And as I said, if it's in other language, you have to translate in either in English or Korean and do apostille on that. So yeah, and if your country belongs to one of the member countries for the apostille conversion, submit your required certificate with apostille. If it's not, if your country is not apostille member, then do check with NID or the university, because I don't have information about that. I'm really sorry about that. And next thing is selection procedure and schedule.